this video, we're going to continue and look at the basic update syntax. So what I want to do is find one record that I want to change. Let's work with the one that we inserted in the previous video. So to do that, I'm going to start off by typing select star from customers where customer ID equals 1002. Executed. I use the Control E shortcut on my keyboard, just kind of a muscle memory thing. And you can see that here we have the Steve Jaworski record in our customer table that we inserted in the previous video. So let's say that Steve had a name change. Okay, we have to change some information about Steve here. So this is what I want to do. I'm going to start off with the operation that I want to perform. So update keyword, and then I'm going to give it the table name that I want to update. And now, just for formatting purposes, I'm going to go to the next line. You don't have to do this. I like to. I'm going to use the set keyword. So now we're going to give it a list of name value pairs. In other words, this column should be set to this value. This column should be set to that value. Okay? So here we go. First name equals Brian. Let's get rid of that right there. Then I'm going to use my space bar and tab over so I can keep things lined up in the same column. I'm kind of a neat freak when it comes to writing SQL, and that's one of the reasons why I like SQL Server Management Studio as opposed to writing in the query window where they change your, the way you're formatting on you. Okay, enough about that. Last name equals Faley. Now I'm going to hit the return button, and it takes me down to the next row, but it keeps it in the same column. Love that. Okay, I know it's a small thing. Equals Brian at learnvisualstudio.net. Whoops. And then what I want to do is use a where clause. I'm gonna tell you about my own personal experience without the where clause and how painful that can be. But we want to change customer ID 1002. Okay. So now what I want to do is comment out this line of code. Now you probably saw me do this previously and I didn't really explain what I'm doing. There's a couple of ways I can execute this. I can select this code and then select execute, and it will only execute the lines of code that I have selected. If I hit execute, it'll execute all the lines that I have if nothing is selected. Also, I can comment out a line of code by using two dashes in front of a line of code. I can even put that in the middle like that and it will still work. And I just realized that I'm missing a comma right there. You must have commas separating these arguments. Okay, so now I'm going to select execute that I have my select gone. And it says one row has been affected. Now I could reselect this. Even though it's been commented out, I'm selecting and only executing that which has been selected. And it still works. Okay, so something you should keep in mind. And you can see that my update statement was successful. Just for fun, I'm going to show you how to do a mass comment, similar to how you would do it in C#. Okay, just using the slash asterisk and then asterisk slash in order to comment out multiple lines. But even so, I could still rerun this code by selecting it and then hitting execute or Control E on my keyboard. Okay, so at any rate, here's my admonition to you about the update statement. Be super careful. Without a where clause, an update can be more destructive than a delete statement, which we're going to learn about in the next video. So what I typically do is this. I start with a select statement and I make sure I get my where clause right and I'm getting the data back that I actually want to ultimately modify. The other thing that I do is I try to never, ever, ever, ever work with a live database, ever. Now, the proper way is to do it this way. Make a backup of the live database. Use that backup on a local development machine. Okay. Then third, I'm going to write a script and save that script. I'm going to go select or file, save as, and you can see I've already done this once, my important work, and I'll save it there. Okay, and then I'll take that script and I'll execute it. I'll load it up, open file, I'll find it, and then I'll execute the whole script against the live production database only if I have to. But at least this gives me an opportunity to catch any mistakes or errors that I was about to make. So the problem is, if you only, here, let's get rid of these. If you only do this, you select these, then it's going to update every single row in your table. Everybody will have the same first name, last name, and email address. And regrettably, I did this one time as I was just getting started with LearnVisualStudio.net, and it was devastating. It took me a week to go back and type in, I think it was, I don't know, something to do with accounts, like, you know, email address or something. I was trying to make a change to one record, and I wound up changing hundreds of records. And it took forever to get it back into the right state, and only because I kept a separate listing of email addresses and like an email, I think. So at any rate, this can be very destructive, and you need to be extremely careful. Okay, so enough about that. If you want to learn more about ways to work with production servers versus development servers, and just basically more about data management techniques, then I'd recommend you take a look at TrainingSpot.com like I recommended yesterday. Okay, so that wraps it up for the video on update. We'll see you in the next video about deletes. Thank you.